seeking the reason for Pitt's interest. He smiled very slightly. "I think so. Why?" Charlotte glanced towards the box again, only moderately discreetly. "Then why are you looking at them?" she asked him, still in a hushed voice. "Who is that in the box just beyond them?" "It looks like Mr. Justice Livesey." "Isn't he young to be a judge? He's rather handsome, don't you think? Mrs. Stafford seems to think so too." Pitt turned a little in his seat. Caroline was too absorbed in the stage to notice. He followed Charlotte's gaze. "Not the man with the black hair," he said under his breath. "The one nearer. The young one is Adolphus Price. He's a Queen's Counsel. Livesey is the big man with white hair." "Oh, well, why are you looking at them anyway?" "I was just surprised he was so absorbed in the play," Pitt replied with a slight shrug. "It's rather romantic. I wouldn't have thought it of him. But his eyes haven't left the stage for 10 minutes or more. In fact, I haven't seen him blink." "Perhaps he's enamoured of Tamar Macaulay," Charlotte said with a little giggle. "Who?" Pitt's face creased with confusion. "The actress." Charlotte was exasperated, and for a moment her voice rose. "Really, Thomas, do pay attention. She is the heroine." "Oh, of course. I forgot her name. I'm sorry." He apologized contritely. "Be quiet and watch the play." They both faced the front and were silent for nearly a quarter of an hour, until a small cry from the Stafford's box and a hasty, half-muffled activity drew their attention. Even Caroline was caused to look away from the stage. "What is it?" she asked anxiously. "What has happened? Is someone ill?" "Yes, it looks like it," Pitt replied, pushing his chair back as if to rise, and then changing his mind. "I think Judge Stafford seems to be unwell." Indeed, Mrs. Stafford was on her feet, leaning over her husband in some agitation, attempting to loosen his collar and speaking to him in a low, urgent voice. However, he made no response except a spasmodic jerking of his limbs, not wildly, but as if he were in some distress. The same fixed, immobile expression remained on his face, as if he still could not bear to drag his attention from the stage and the figures on it playing out their own predetermined drama. "Should we help?" Charlotte whispered doubtfully. "What could we do?" Pitt looked worried, his face puckered. "He probably needs a doctor." But even as he said it, he pushed his chair farther back and rose to his feet. "I'd better see if she wishes someone to call for one, and they may need assistance to help him to a more private place where he can lie down. Please excuse me to Caroline." And without waiting any longer, he slipped out of the back of the box. Once outside, he hurried along the wide passageway, counting the doors until he came to the right one. There was no point in knocking. The woman had all she could cope with in trying to help her husband without coming to open a door which would not be locked anyway. In fact, it was already ajar. He simply pushed it wide and went in. Samuel Stafford was slumped in the chair, his face very flushed. Even from the doorway, Pitt could hear his laboured breathing. Juniper Stafford was at the far side of the box now, leaning against the rail, her hands up to her face, knuckles white. She seemed almost paralysed with fear. Next to Stafford, half kneeling on the floor, was Mr. Justice Ignatius Livesey. "Can I be of help?" Pitt asked quickly. "Have you sent for a doctor, or would you like me to?" Livesey looked around, startled. Obviously, he had not heard Pitt come in. He was a big man, broad-headed, with a powerful face, with short nose and fleshy jaw. It was a face of conviction and courage, perhaps uncertain temper, belonging to a man of intense and